Yeah, so I hope you are able to see the screen. Uh, i- are you able to see the screen? Yeah, right. Fine. Uh, just a minute. Yeah, right. So today we will discuss about ordinary differential equations. See, so far we have discussed about linear algebra. I mean the matrices and eigenvalues and eigenvectors and related problems. We spend 1 hour on this one, and later we will shift to problem solving session. We already have we solved, I mean, up to 45 questions during our last session. This is all which I have shared in the Google folder. Almost 45 to 46 problems we have shared, and some of you have asked me to uh, solve few more problems, discuss about few more problems. We will do that one, so that we will shift to the end of this session. So let me first present the concepts that are related to differential equations. So when it comes to differential equations, we have, see, derivative and its order. That is one thing we need to see. When there is one dependent variable and one independent variable, then we can talk about ordinary derivative. So it is dy by dx. So dy by dx, or we write it as y prime. That is the notion we are following. So it is called first order derivative. When we talk about the higher order derivatives, we have second order derivative d square y by dx square or y double dash. Similarly, third order derivative, fourth order derivatives. We knew about these things during our 12th standard. So for ordinary derivative, we have an idea. Moreover, when there is one dependent variable, in this case say z, and more than one independent variable, in such a case, the question of partial derivatives will come into picture. So first order partial derivatives means here z being the dependent variable, we can talk about two first order partial derivatives, that is dou z by dou x, dou z by dou y. So the convention usually we follow in gate questions, that say the convention they follow is dou z by dou x is denoted by small p or z subscript x, and dou z by dou y is denoted by small q or z subscript y. So that is there when there is one dependent variable z and two independent variables x and y. With this scenario, we have two first order partial derivatives. One is dou z by dou x, which is either denoted by p, small p, or z subscript x, and another one is another first order partial derivative is dou z by dou y, which is denoted by small q or by z subscript y. Then coming over to the higher order derivatives, here most of the time we in case of partial derivatives, we go for second order partial derivatives. So how many possibilities are there? One is dou square z by dou x square, another one is dou square z by dou y square, third one is dou square z by dou x dou y. Here I mean first for z with respect to y we calculate the partial derivative. Thereupon we calculate partial derivative of the resultant, that is dou z by dou y. For that one, with respect to x, we differentiate partially. So as a consequence, the result is denoted by dou square z by dou x dou y. And of course, you can change the order of differentiation here. Dou square z by dou by dou x means first differentiate partially with respect to x, followed by differentiate partially with respect to y. So in this case, dou square z by dou x square is denoted by small r or by z subscript xx, and dou square z by dou y square denoted by small s or by z subscript yy, and both dou square z by dou x dou y, that is either z subscript xy or dou square z by dou y dou x, that is either represented by dou square z by dou y dou x or z subscript yx, are equal. In fact, they are equal. Dou square z by dou y dou x is same as dou square z by dou x dou y. That is the scenario in which we are working out our problems. Both are denoted by t. So how many second order partial derivatives are there when there is a dependent variable z and there are two independent variables x and y? There are three. One is dou square z by dou x square, which is denoted by small r, dou square z by dou y square, which is denoted by small s, and dou square z by dou x dou y or dou square z by dou y dou x, both are one and same values, so that is denoted by t. So we have, when we are dealing with the partial derivatives involving a function which is denoted by the dependent variable z and the independent variables involved are x and y, we are having two partial order first order derivatives, namely p and q, and the remaining RST or second order partial derivatives. This is first thing we need to know. So when we are dealing with only one dependent variable and only one independent variable, we talk about ordinary derivative. So in such a case, we represent most of the time the dependent variable by y and the independent variable by x. So we write the derivative as dy dx or y dash, and higher order derivatives are denoted by d square y by dx square d cube y by dy dx cube, etc. And when we are dealing with one dependent variable and more than one independent variable, in this case we are saying two independent variables, let them be represented by x and y. In such a case, we are having two first order partial derivatives which are denoted by small p and small q, and three second order partial derivatives which are denoted by r, s and t. This is the convention for our examination. Then now we talk about, see, in the earlier slide we talked about derivatives and its order. There are two types of derivatives: ordinary derivatives, partial derivatives. And then we talk about equations. Whenever
Excuse me, sir.
hello, yeah, tell me.
Sir, there is a student who is not able to join the meeting, sir. His
I
name is
have shared
Chetan.
the code also.
No, sir. He is not like he's a passed out student, and
uh,
his mail ID is not the college ID. That's why. If you
so
give him
I
permission, he can join, sir.
surely, but the thing is that today an update came. I don't know. That is what I am searching. The whole thing will be disturbed. As I am in time. Okay, if let him ask for the permission, I will give. If it pops up here, that's what I am seeing.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll
Okay,
let
I
him
will
know,
try
sir.
my level best. See the whole here. I got whole Google updates here. That just now, in fact, that's why I. Okay, let him ask for the permission. Let me see.
Yes, sir. His name is Chetan, sir. I'll let him know.
Ah,
One
yeah,
minute.
I know he's in, I think, Chetan, I met him in. Yeah, okay. Let him ask for the permission.
Okay, sir.
If it pops up, definitely I will accept that. Here, I don't know where I have to see. I have not studied that. That's okay. Let him ask for the permission. I think where it will come, that is, now the whole thing is attached to this Gmail. That is, I am really surprised what is happening. That's why. How the whole thing is attached to Gmail, I am not able to understand. Has he asked for the permission? Permission is not popping up. That is the problem. I am not able to see even that there is a window where I can switch over to. That is what I am seeing. Where is this? Is he able to send a request? Are you able to hear to me? Yeah, I think Meet is here. Yeah, yeah, I got. Now Meet is here. So why my Meet is not coming here?
So try tapping on that ongoing call, sir, once.
Oh, where is that? Let me see. Ongoing call. Huh? So not new meeting, is it right?
No, no, it's not new meeting.
Uh,
Just try
the
tapping on that ongoing call, sir, at the top.
in the top, where is? I am not able to see it. Okay, okay. Ah, yeah. Thank you. Okay. Now, did I? Has he sought permission? Usually, it pops up here. Usually, it pops up here. I think it is not coming. Can't he? I mean. Join using that code. Code, I think using that code he can join, what I think. Or directly in the Meet also one can join. Okay, can I continue? Can I continue? Can I continue? Anyone responding? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Right. So, yeah, when it comes to ordinary and we talked about ordinary and partial derivatives, then see, we talk about equations now because the topic is differential equations. So, whenever equations come into picture, we talk about degree. So, an equation involving ordinary or partial partial derivatives, I mean here, is known as ordinary or partial differential equation. So that is the formal definition. You probably know order and degree, that as and when an example comes I will explain. Similarly, linear and nonlinear also we can talk about. For that one, just I will share, yeah, I will give an example here. So the example is, yeah, so the example here is, for example, if we take say y double dash is equal to, I'm talking about whenever we are writing y double dash like that, it is an ordinary differential equation. So y double dash is, say, yx, if I write like this. So this is a linear one. See, when I am talking about linearity, we are talking about we are focusing on the derivatives. So how many derivatives are there? Here there are, you can think like this. This is one thing involving y, that is called second order derivative, and this is zeroth order derivative you can consider. So I will give one more example. See here, first we look at some examples. Like you have y double dash is equal to 3y. This is another example I would like to say. This is also linear. But what is the difference? Here, if you, any equation, in any equation you can talk about coefficients. Here, the coefficient we mean, here the coefficient we mean, for this term, the coefficient is 1. And for this term, this term, the coefficient is x. So, for y the coefficient is x, for y double dash term, for the term involving y double dash, the coefficient is 1. So, this equation is known as a linear equation of variable coefficients, because here x is there, this is a variable. When we come to the second example, you have the thing that involves that there are two terms here. One is this term and the other is this term. In this term, there is y. In this term, there is, in the first term, that I mean, in the first term, there is y. In this term also, there is y. If you look at this, this term, the quotient of y double dash is 1. So it's a constant. And if you look at this term, the coefficient is 3. In both the terms, the coefficients are constant. So this is called a linear ordinary differential equation with constant terms, constant coefficients. On the other hand, the first example is also a linear equation, but it is of variable coefficients, because here if you look at this one, the coefficient is 1. On the other hand, the quotient for the thing involving y, it is x. So it is a variable. So it is a linear equation involving variable coefficients. So we have seen an example of a linear equation involving variable coefficients and an example of a ordinary differential equation involving constant quotients. Now see, I'll just will try to see what is linearity. So we will see one more example. The example is like this: y dash is equal to y square. See, this is square. This is the, here this is derivative. This is something power of y square. So this is basically the highest order is here. Highest order derivative is first order. So first order equation this is. But there are how many terms here? There are 2 terms here. In this equation, there are 2 terms. This is first term, this is second term. This term, the first term, has only one and only one instance of y, that is y dash. On the other hand, this term has 2 instances. How can you count the 2 instances? Here a term, I mean a product. So y square can be viewed as y into y. So in this product term, a term is a product of things. So when we are talking about equations, we are dealing with the sum of products. I mean equation involving sum of products. Each product term is known as a term here. So it is y square here. So there are more than one instance in a term of the dependent variable. So it is known as a nonlinear equation. So this is first order nonlinear. That is the thing. So we go for one more example. See, on the other hand, if you look at the first 2 examples here, in the first example, you have 2 terms. Y double dash is one term and y into x is another term. But the second term, y into x, is a product of 2 things. One is x and the other is y. And in that one, only one instance of y is there. And on the other hand, the first term, y double dash, has anyway only one instance of y. So it is a linear one. See, in every term, the instance of y is one and only once it is there. Then it is called a linear equation. So the instance can be either as y or some order derivative of y. That is the meaning here. In an instance, a y can appear as y in terms of y or some order derivative of y. So that is the first example is a linear equation. The second example is also a linear equation. There are 2 terms there. On the other hand, the first one is a linear equation of variable quotients, and the second example is a equation, a ordinary differential equation involving constant quotients. Now, when we come to the third one, it has again 2 terms. The highest order derivative is y dash here. On the other hand, in the above examples, the highest order derivative is 2 in both the cases. So they are second order differential equations. When it comes to here, it is a first order differential equation, ordinary differential equation. On the other hand, it is a non-linear equation because of the term y square. We go for one more example and then we go to the next slide actually.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sorry to disturb you. Sir, he's rejoining, sir. Can you accept him?
Sure, if it pops up, definitely I will accept. There is no issue at all.
Trying from the last 5 minutes and he's not able to do it.
No, where it pops up, I have to give a permission. It is not popping up. That is the problem.
Okay,
usually it pops up here. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay, sir.
He's still trying?
Yes, sir. He actually texted he's still trying.
Where I can see, okay, where is the text in this one? That's what I'm seeing. Let me see. I have my, oh, somewhere it has gone. Okay, where is text here? The whole set. Let me see my laptop there. If I am able to see, I will give permission there.
Okay, sir.
Let me see. Yeah, he has texted, it seems. It is Ritik Roshan. Is it right?
Sir, Chetan, yes, sir.
But in the chat box, I am not able to see his name. Where, if I want, see, if you are expecting me to give permission, it should pop up in my one of my windows. Is it right?
Yes, sir. But he is
What?
telling he's trying from the last 5 minutes and is not able to join.
Oh,
His name is Chetan. Yes, I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure,
have
sir.
seen him. I have seen him. He comes
Yes,
in
sir.
the department. I know. He will be there with Panikumar sir. He is doing some work, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's a
I
passed out student, right, sir?
yes, yes, I know. But
Yes,
where is that coming? That is what I am seeing. Pop. It is not popping up. If
sir.
it pops up, I will see. If a pop-up window comes, then
Okay,
usually I
okay,
will
sir.
give permission.
Okay, sir. I'll tell him to join in the next session, sir. Is it that'll
That
be fine?
that will be fine.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sorry to disturb you, sir.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, right. See, what I mean to say is that we are talking about linearity and non-linearity and order differential equations. Order of the differential equation we are talking about. And we will see one more example and try to, go to that again, the PPT part. Okay. So one more example I will give you. See here, if we take y double dash, then you have a square I am putting here minus say y dash plus okay, we will say it is equal to x sin x. Yeah, that's good. So if this is the case, see here, this is an ordinary differential equation because the symbols, see, remember always once we have we are preparing the slides in such a way that you have full clarity here. So I need to update this one actually. Okay, so when I talked about this slide, see derivatives and its order. So there are 2 points. Is one is uh, ordinary derivative and the other is partial derivative. We have a clear picture here. And the symbols are here. See what we have, y double dash, y triple dash, like that we are following. And when it comes to partial differential equation, that I'm not discussing now. So only I'm first confining to ordinary differential equations, then we'll go to the partial differential. That is our strategy. So linear and non-linear partial differential equations we will discuss later, the later part of our sessions. Okay, so yeah, here, yes. So when it comes to here, this is ordinary one. How many terms are there in this equation? In this equation, there are, see now, how many terms? This is first term, this is second term, this is third term. This term is a product of, see how many instances of y are there. This is, in fact, you need to look like this, y double dash into y double dash. This is the product here. This is only you have minus 1 into y dash. And this is, of course, product x into sin x. So you now focus on to decide about the linearity or non-linearity. You need to focus on those terms which involves y. So in this case, this is the one term and this is one term. There are two terms that determines the linear an equation. This equation is linear or non-linear. So when it comes to this term, you have two instances of y here, which are incoming as a second. In both instances, the y is appearing as second order derivative. So automatically, if all the in all the terms y has at most one appearance, then it is one instance. It appears in one instance, then it is called a linear one. Otherwise, it is non-linear one. So it appears twice. So this is a non-linear one. Moreover, The highest order derivative here is 2 and the power of that is 2. So this is second order second degree differential equation. Yeah, that is what I would like to do. When it comes to the quotients here, the quotients here, because you cannot talk about quotients. Only when it is linear equation only, then only we can talk about quotients. So not quotients in the sense whether they are constant quotients or uh, variable quotients, that we can in fact differentiate when we are dealing with only linear equations. This is all about the second slide. Yeah, this is all about the second slide. So order I have discussed, degree I have discussed, and linear non-linear I have discussed. Now come over to the third one. This is your strategy actually. See, when we are going for a competitive exam, you should have a kind of panoramic view. In fact, already we knew about, we have learnt about the ordinary differential equations or partial differential equations, but now our view is that how to attack the problem. That is very important thing. So I focus more on that thing, in fact. So when I look at this one, see, the slide heading here is ordinary differential equation of first order. When you go to the, I just talk about that one for almost 10 slides. I talk about this first order only. Later part only I will enter into the higher order one. So when it comes to the first order, okay, nice, we'll go here. This is not first order. This is not first order. We will see what are the examples here. So this is not first order. Fine. And then is there any first order equation here? This is first order. Fine. So this is first order. And if you look at the one more thing, here both are second order. So we have seen only one example of first order equation here. Okay, I will bring that to the end. Y dash is y square. Fine. We'll come out to here. Y dash is y square. I'm writing like this. See. So this is first order. This is first order. Fine. But see, what is happening here is, we'll look at one more example. We will look at one more example. We will we will look at one more example. I am giving, see, one more example. Y dash, say plus x y plus e power x is equal to 0. See here what is happening here. So if I want to rewrite this, see how we are trying to rewrite this. How we are trying to rewrite this. We are trying to rewrite this as y dash is equal to, I'm talking about this one. Y dash is equal to minus xy minus e power x. So see here, we need not rewrite the first one. We need not rewrite the first one because both are, see, both these equations, I mean, both these equations, this equation as well as this equation are first order. We are talking about the first order only. We are talking about the first order differential equation only. But see here, we want to get a particular form here. The form is that here, see, if you look at this form, the form is like this. You are putting the left hand side in the left hand side of this equation, y dash is there. The remaining part is here. This is okay. This is already in the required form. Now, so what we are looking for is that in the right hand side, we have instances of x and y only, and y appears no other, I mean order derivatives here, only y. And in the left hand side, you have the first order derivative of y. So how can I write this one? How can I express this idea? So I express this idea like this. y is equal to, y dash is equal to f of xy. So here now how to attack the problem we are going to look at, analyze. Okay, so when I look at this one, the first case is, where is your f of xy? In the first example, our f of xy, in the first example, our f of xy is y square. Okay, in the second example, our f of xy is minus xy minus e power x. So this is our f of xy. Okay, so we want a differential equation to be in this form. That is, this is the form we are looking at. Then we will see divide how to tackle the problem or problems we will see. So our important thing is that we want the first order equation to be here. We are not worried whether it is linear or non-linear for time being, because if you look for our first choice, for this choice, this is anyway linear, non-linear, and when this is the case, this is linear. I hope you understood. This is linear and this is non-linear. Why? Because non-linear, this term, this term y square, the term y square is y into y, so it is non-linear. On the other hand, if you look at this term, you have minus x into y, so y has only one. How many terms here? Y dash is equal to minus xy minus e power x. So you have three terms. The right hand side free from derivatives of y, so minus xy minus ex. So e power x term has no y and the other term has x and y. So this y has only one. It is appearing only one and only once. So it is a linear one. Okay. So non-linear, linear we have to. So what I mean to say is that, okay, now see. So if you look at this slide, see f of xy, that is our first ordinary differential equation of first order. But see here how I am categorizing these things. That f of xy, sorry. Oh, again I have to see. Right. Somewhere else it is. Yeah, right. Good. Okay. So, yeah, when it comes to here, our f of xy here, our f of xy can be zx into hy or zx by hy. So, see here, there are certain things. What I mean to say is that, okay. So, something like, I will give a simple example here. Okay. Yeah. Right. See, if I write y dash is equal to y square minus x square, this is our differential equation. So when we write, what is first order? See, remember, this is the first order derivative. This is y into y. How we can view this? Y into y minus x into x. So clearly it is non-linear. What is this? This is dy by dx. We write like this. So I can write the whole equation. One can write the whole equation like this. What is that? Dy by dx is equal to y square minus x square. That is one equation. Another equation I will write, see here. Another equation. So something like, yeah. So I can write like dy by dx. Another example I am giving. Sine x into cos y. Is it linear or non-linear? If someone asks, see here y is only one time coming, but cos y is a nonlinear term. This is a nonlinear equation. Okay, so if you look at this one, but see what is your f of xy in this case? Our f of xy in this case is our f of xy in this case is, our f of xy in this case is, this is our f of xy. F of xy is sin x into cos y. On the other hand, in this case, our f of xy is y square minus x square, right? But what is happening here? This, in the second case, you can look this as something. See, like this. You can look like this. How this f of xy here, actually f of xy here is sin x into cos y. So we are able to see this as z of x. Here z of x is sin x, h of y as cos y. So you are able to see the product. If product in one factor is completely involves x and the other involves y. So that is our first case. On the other hand, this you cannot view like that. Y square minus x square, you cannot write as a product of something involving only x into the other thing involving only y. Okay, so that is what the case I'm talking about, the first one. So either g of x into h of y or g of x by h of y. In such a case, dy by dx is equal to f of xy is called a separable equation. Then your f of xy can be sometimes may appear as like z of y by x. What is this one? So yeah. So when, okay, good. I'll do one thing. So yeah. So if I do like this, what's happens? Yeah, good. Okay, I'm coming. Right. So see here, I give some examples here. The examples are something like this. Dy by dx is equal to y square minus x square by 2xy. Okay, fine, good. Y square minus x square by 2xy. Y square minus x square by 2xy, I mean, so what is the thing we are, y square, okay, y dash, I mean, dy by dx is equal to y square minus x square by 2xy. That is what we have seen that okay, in that note. But see, this you can write as, see, this you cannot write as something involving x into something involving y. This is not a separable equation. On the other hand, there is a kind of flexibility here. That is, see, actually this is our f of xy. This is our f of xy. Okay, but this can be viewed in a different way. This can be viewed in a different way. How this can be viewed? You just take, see, you divide, this can be viewed as y by x. Okay, y by, see, I mean, I rewrite again. So y square by 2xy minus x square by 2xy. You can write like this. So this is further equal to, we have y by 2x minus x by 2y. Oh, fine. But this is further can be written as, this can further be written as is equal to half into y by x minus 1 by 2 into y by x. So this whole object can be viewed as, you treat this as one entity. Okay, so that can be viewed as some function of z of y by x. So what is happening here is that we are able to view f of xy as z of y by x. So now what is the conclusion here? So far we have seen two things. Sometimes f of xy can be viewed as z of x into h of y. This is one case, or g of x by h of y, whatever it may be. Okay, it's not an issue. And sometimes the whole thing can be viewed as like this. So if see, if something is like this, if something is like this, it's a straightforward answer, I will tell you. Solving the differential equation is very easy because you have y dash is equal to f of xy. How it is easy, you see. That is called a separable equation. But when it is like this, it is not a separable equation. So we can always convert that into separable equation. That's what we are saying here. So see here, f of xy is z of x into h of y or z of x by h of y. That's called a separable equation. And f of xy is equal to z of y by x. If that is the case, if you view that like that, then the ordinary differential equation dy by dx is equal to f of xy is known as a homogeneous ordinary differential equation. Further, this f of xy is known as a homogeneous function of degree k. Some spelling mistakes are there. I'll try to correct that one. Okay, fine. That is the second one. Now we will look at the third one. F of xy is something we are further simplifying the things. So here, here only we'll take. Here, what we are doing is that a third case is coming. That is something like minus p something quotient p of x into y plus q of x. Something like this if you are able to write. See, here some problem is there. You are able to see product something into involving x into y, something involving y, but there is something different here. Only x involving x part is left, residue is there. So we need to handle that case. So this is called a linear equation. Leibniz equation we call it. Leibniz equation. So see, first this is one step. First, what is our first step? Our first step is this separable equation. Then y by x. This one a little complicating. We are a little complicating issue slightly. That is minus px. Separability is there here. Separability you can see here, but some object is there. Because of this one, you are not able to separate it. Plus sign is there. And in the next level, what we are saying is that this is a linear one. And in the next level, actually, if you want to speak, you put a power here. That is say k, y power k. So px into y power k into qx. So variable quotients here. So that is Bernoulli's equation. A slight variant of the separable equation. Leibniz equation and Bernoulli's equation. Leibniz equation is a special case of the Bernoulli's equation with n is equal to, 1. Here q of y, it is not q of y. In the Bernoulli's equation, it is q of x. There is a mistake there. I'll correct it. Then the other case is you have f of xy is equal to m of xy by n of xy. Okay, fine. How is this? See, if we look at this equation, which one? Yeah, y square minus x square. Now I will ask a question. See here, yeah, y square minus x square. We will go here. Y dash is equal to, I don't write y dash, you may get confused. Okay, right. dy by dx is equal to y square minus x square. This is clearly not a separable equation. This is not a separable equation. It is clear. This is not a homogeneous equation. That is also clear. This is not a homogeneous equation. And this is also, can this be viewed as a Leibniz equation? This is not a Leibniz equation because you see here, you have the term, there are three terms here. This is our first term, this is second term, this is our third term. In this one, there is term involving y here, one term that is left side, and this is y. So in this one, y is y into y. So this is a nonlinear equation. This can be viewed as a Bernoulli's equation because if you look here, your thing is minus px into y square minus qx plus qx. So what is your qx here? Your px is minus 1 and your qx is minus x square. That is the scenario. So this can be viewed as a Bernoulli's equation. This is not a separable equation. This is not a homogeneous equation, but this can be viewed as a Bernoulli's equation, but this is not a Leibniz equation. On the other hand, see how I interpret this equation. This equation can be further interpreted as, what is our equation? So dy by dx is equal to y square minus x square. So how I write this? This is nothing but y minus x into y plus x. So I can write as this further as, I can realize this as many ways. I can realize one is y minus x by 1 by y plus x. So what is happening here? Here is that we are able to see this as this term is m of xy, this whole term is n of xy. So you have dy dx is equal to m of xy by n of xy, something like this we can see. That is the third case. I wrote minus m of xy by n of xy. So here we talk about the differentials. Is it an exact differential, non-exactness? You might have heard. I will quickly recall those things, right? And so this is our strategy. So when you are dealing with first order differential equation, the strategy is that see whether it is a separable equation. If it is not a separable equation, go for homogeneous equation. You will see that one. And if it is not a homogeneous equation, sometimes you can reduce that equation into homogeneous equation. That scenario I will explain now. And if it is neither reducible to homogeneous equation nor a homogeneous, then you have to see whether it is a Bernoulli's equation. If it is a Leibniz equation, there is a straightforward solution. If it is a Bernoulli's solution, both the Leibniz and Bernoulli's equations can be reducible to, it can be reduced into separable equations. That is the advantage here. And then exact equation that we'll see during probably in our next session only, not now. Okay, first order exact equations. Okay, what is our next? First, what is that? Separable equation. Okay, separable equation. Just a minute. Separable equation. Yeah. So separable equation. I know this one. Yeah. Separable equation. So if it is a separable equation, simply you can write as h dy is dx into gx into dx. So you can integrate both sides. The left hand side, the integrand is h of y, the integrating variable is y. In the right hand side, the integrand is g of x and the integrating variable is x. You need to integrate those things. So simple integration. When it comes to simple integration, see you have all the, how can you evaluate integrals? You have only two ways to integrate to evaluate an integral. You have two techniques only. What are those two techniques? The two techniques are, one is called change of variable technique. To integrate, you have one is called change of variable, the other is called by parts. They are the only two techniques that are available to evaluate a single integral. That is, integrand involves only one variable, single integral. We deal with multiple integrals because vector calculus will come during our future course, future discussions. Though there you need to talk about multiple integrals. So for now we have only two techniques. One is change of variable. Change of variable means what? Put y is equal, say put x square is equal to t, 2x dx is equal to 2 dt. That is substitution. That substitution is called change of variable technique. The other one is by parts. You know about the by parts. So to evaluate those integrals, we have these formulas, set of formulas. I have included those things. Just you have to recap those things. Those simple things I have here about differentiation and about, sorry, one slide is missing, I think. Yeah, about integration. So integration is here by parts. See, if you look at that, this is called Bernoulli's rule again. I mean, by parts is uv dash dx is equal to uv minus integral u dash v dx. That's called by parts. And these integration formulas you need to remember. Okay, this is about which. So now I talked about separable equation. If now what is this? How to solve separable equation? You need to look at these two tables. If you know these two tables, you can handle the separable equations. Now come to the next one, homogeneous equations. Yeah, for homogeneous equation, I require this, right? Because I need to include into the slides, it may take time. So a handwritten presentation is there here. So homogeneous differential equation. So I said dy by dx is z of y by x. When that is the case, we are using substitution here, change of variable. V is equal to y by x. See, when I'm writing this, see the first one is dy dx is equal to g of y by x. So what is the dependent variable here? The dependent variable is y and the independent variable is x. When we put this one, v is equal to y by x. What is C? We are converting y by x into v. So v is dependent variable, x is independent variable. So you can reduce that equation into a separable form and the answer will be this one. This formula you need to remember. Integral dv by z of v minus v is equal to dx by x plus c. So if you have a homogeneous thing, you can straight away remember this one, this formula, and you can write the answer. Okay. So when it is a homogeneous, when it is a homogeneous equation, what is homogeneous equation? Again, here we clearly told what is a homogeneous equation. Yeah. Yes. Homogeneous means f of xy can be viewed as a function of y by x, and f of tx ty is t power k into f of xy. That is the, you need to check that one. If that is the case, then it is called as a homogeneous equation. So that can be reduced to a separable equation here. You can get an answer. See some examples I have given. dy by dx is equal to y square minus x square by 2xy. If this is the case, see what is our v? Our v is, you can directly, then see in this case, what is that z you need to identify. What is that? Z is y by x. See in the previous thing. Yeah. When you look at this, I think here. Yeah, this one. When you look at this, this is our f of xy, but we realized that our z of xy is, or z of, y by x is this. Or z, see, our f of xy is this. On the other hand, so I'll come to the end here. So here, what is the equation we are talking about? We are talking about y dash, I mean dy by dx is equal to, I think it is y square minus x square, yeah, 2xy. So this is actually what I call f of xy. This object is f of xy. On the other hand, this f of xy can be viewed as, this f of xy can be viewed as, okay, this f of xy can be viewed as half, I'm taking half here, then y by x minus 1 by y by x. Okay, so if you take y by x as v, if you take y by x as v, so how can I write this? This is equal to half into v minus 1 by v. So what is v here? V is nothing but y by x. V is nothing but y by x. So what is our ZV now? Our ZV is, so our ZV is half v minus half, v minus 1 by v. That is our ZV. So what you need to do, what we need to do here, so directly you can go to here. Z of v minus v is equal to dx by x. You can remember this formula and straight away write the answer. So d of v, see here. So what is, yeah, right. So z of v minus v here, I'll come to that. Okay, so integral of 1 by, he says z of v minus v dv is equal to integral dx by x. That's what he wrote there. I think that is right. Where is that? Hey, this is switching over. Yeah, I think here we are looking at. Yeah, this is right. Right. So here, right, this. So now I write this equation as, so you have integral 1 by z of v is, what is our z of v? Half into v minus 1 by v. You have minus v here. dv is there. Is equal to dx by x. Don't worry about the constant. It's not a serious thing here. So when we simplify further, this yields, you have half v minus v is half. So okay, you can easily simplify. This is a separable equation. So we get, we have, I mean, so half v is there, half v. So 1 by dv by, I mean, okay, minus half will be there here. Probably you are left with v plus 1 by v, I think. You can check. This can be easily integrated. I don't want to work out this. Okay. So this can be easily integrated. So that is what I am saying here. That is what I am saying here. Yeah. So you can write like this. So there are two examples here. In these two examples, you can view these, both are homogeneous ones. Now come over to non-homogeneous. See here I'm saying non-homogeneous ODE which can be reduced to homogeneous one. See what happened. We started with our journey with separable equation. Then we looked at homogeneous equation, means it is not a separable one. We are trying to reduce that into a separable equation. We succeeded, and then we are now coming to something not homogeneous. Can we convert it to homogeneous? If we are able to convert it to homogeneous, then you can further reduce that into separable equation. So non-homogeneous means something like this: a1x plus b1y plus c1 by a2x plus b2y plus c2. Most simplified version of a non-homogeneous. This is clearly a non-homogeneous equation which can be reduced to a homogeneous one. In this case, it is very simple. You have to look at a1h plus b1k plus c1 is equal to 0 by taking x as h and y as k. You look at the homogeneous system, system of equations, solve for hk. But there is an issue here. The determinant of this one, what is the determinant of this one? Yeah, because you need to connect to or earlier linear algebra also, it is easy for you. Okay, we are looking at a1h plus b1k plus c1 is equal to 0, a2h plus b2k plus c2 is equal to 0. If this is the case, then you look at this in the matrix form. So you have a1 b1, a2 b2, sorry. So what is that? hk, they are the variables here, is equal to minus, I write like this, minus c1 c2. That's all. Okay. So if the determinant is 0, then you have more than one solution. There is a possibility that it has more than one solution. If the determinant is not equal to 0, then it has unique solution. Has unique solution. That we need to see. Okay. So both cases we are going to discuss there. So if you discuss both cases here, so the first case, that is determinant is 0. So if a1 b2 is a2 b1, then you have this r. So simply take a1 b is equal to a2x plus b2y, and then it straight away it reduces to a separable equation. You need not worry about that. And if it is not equal to 0, it's a unique solution. You will get h and k. You will get h and k. So the ultimate thing is that small x is equal to x plus h, y is equal to y plus k. This transformation reduces to the equation this. Again, this is a homogeneous equation. So it can further be reduced to a separable equation. That's what we say, right? So this is, here I have given some examples like 2x plus 3y minus 2 and by 3x plus y minus 5. This one, for this one, clearly the determinant, what is the determinant here? 2 into, see here, here, okay, I think I cannot switch over this. Okay, wait. Fine. I can do like this. I can do like this. Yeah, see here. See here. We are not here. Which one I want? Yeah, this one. This equation. So here, what is our, 2, 3, 3, 1, determine that is, HK we need to find, HK is equal to 2, 5. So here the determinant is non-zero. So you can straight away find H and K. You can straight away find H and K. And once that H and K is determined, and that once that H and K is determined, then you can apply this idea. Small x is equal to capital X plus H and small y is equal to y plus K, and thereby you can reduce the thing into homogeneous. But in the second one, dy dx is equal to y minus, here the determinant is 0. So in such a case, you have to take y minus x as some constant entity. So a variable entity that I already here I told. Yeah, see, v is equal to here a to x plus b to y. So then it reduces to a separable equation. That is the second two examples we have given here. That's about this part. Which part? So we have now seen the separable part, separable equation, homogeneous equation, and some non-homogeneous equations that reduces to homogeneous equation. See, when we are dealing with homogeneous equation, it can always be reducible. It is reducible to the separable form. Okay, and non-homogeneous equations that are reducible to homogeneous, so that again they can be reduced to separable form. And now we are looking at the Bernoulli's and the Leibniz linear equation. That part, okay, that part is here. That part is here. No, not this one. Yeah, right. So this is, yeah, Leibniz equation here. Dy dx plus py is equal to q. For this one, you just remember y e power integral p dx is integral q e power integral p dx plus c. That is the formula here. You just remember that. And in this case, the p of x is 2x by x square minus 1. On the other hand, q of x for the first example is 1 by x square minus 1. In a similar way, for the second example also, it's a Leibniz equation. And then we talked about nonlinear equation reducible to linear form. So it is Bernoulli's equation. And for that one, see here, you need to remember z is equal to y power 1 minus n. Then that can be reduced to Bernoulli equation. I have given two examples here. So I have given, now we have discussed an outline, okay, an outline of an outline for, just a minute, an outline for, here, till here we came, except exactness, all the other things we have covered. Separable equation, when you are dealing with separable equation, you need to look into this table. You have to remember the formulas, both differentiation formulas and integration formulas. You need to remember by parts in particular. All right. So we have that separable equation is there, homogeneous equation is there, and non-homogeneous reducible to homogeneous is there. And then we talked about Bernoulli's equation and Leibniz equations, that we have given concept presentation I have done. And the thing is exactness, we will see in the next session. Exact and handling non-exactness, we'll see in the next class, and probably we may go to the second higher order differential equation also into the next class. Okay, now tell me uh, any questions first, and because we are now left with 40 minutes. For these 40 minutes, we will go for the problem solving session on linear algebra, which is there in which I have shared with you the question bank. Okay. Do you have anything, some more thing to be you require here to explain? Can anyone uh, unmute, and you can raise if you have any questions, or do you have any questions? Do you have no? I want to discuss the problems here. You please wait. Some problems I will discuss here. Examples. You need to respond. Okay. Right. Fine. So we will go for the problem solving session now on linear algebra. You need to participate first. If you don't participate, it's of no use. Right. So this problem we have seen multiplication of matrices E and F is G. Matrices E and G are that last time we have discussed. Okay. Now we have to see this one, 47. So have we discussed this problem? Uh, yeah, then the matrix is. So this also we have discussed. I think this is what we call diagonalization. I talked about diagonalization. Please see here. I updated that. Probably you might have not seen in the folder. So in the folder, if you look at, this is linear algebra. I'm uploading the second PPT tomorrow. That is about differential equation tomorrow. So now see, this is about the first PPT. This has I think 22, 23 slides. So the last slide, when it comes to last three slides, we talked about in the last three slides. We talked about eigenvalues, eigenvectors. Yeah, both these slides talks about eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Yeah, there is one more. I think there are four slides. I think I have not. Something is missing here. I need to one more slide I added actually about diagonalization. That diagonalization slide is missing here. Okay, so we have altogether 25 slides. In that one, so diagonalization we talked about. Diagonalization we have talked about. So here, this is all about the diagonalization. Which one? This matrix. 47 we talked about. No, 48. Eigenvalues of the matrix are 5 and 1. What are the eigenvalues of the matrix S square? Can anyone tell? What are the eigenvalues of the matrix S square? I think, is there anyone there? Can anyone respond?
25 and 1 and 25.
How you are coming to 1 and 25? You need,
Because it's 5 and 1. So the square will be 1.
no. See, yeah, right. You are right. Correct. So 1 and 25. Square is that property is there. If A has lambda 1 and lambda 2 square. Right, you are right. 49. The rank of the matrix. I think this is simple. You need not worry about that. Okay. It cannot be 1. In fact, it cannot be 0. It cannot be 1. It cannot be 5. Why it cannot be 0? Can anyone tell? Because rank of the only matrix that is 0 is 0 matrix. That's all. So this is 0. You can eliminate. It cannot be 1 because there are two independent rows there. 1, 1, 1 and the second row. So most likely it is 2. That is the answer. 5, it cannot be 5. Right. This is about 50th problem. Solution of the system defined by set of equations. I think this is also an easy one. I will look into. Yeah, right. See here, 51st question. The eigenvalue correspond to the eigenvector. Can anyone tell how you will do this one? Please respond. 51st question, how you will respond? The eigenvalue corresponding to the eigenvector. What you will do?
Sir, is it 6?
Yeah, eigenvalue they are asking for. How can we find?
We multiply both the matrices.
Right. 4, 2, 2, 4, multiply it with 101 and 101. Okay. It is very easy here. So 101 and 101, I mean, not this one. I want another slide. Yeah, somewhere else. Yeah. See here. Just a minute. Right. Now see, you have 101 into 11. That's all. That 101 into 101. And on the other hand, the matrix is 4224. 4224. Okay. So 4224, you just multiply by 1 here. That gives you 4 plus 2 is 6 here. And 2 plus 4 is 6 here. You have here 101. So you have 101 here. So 606. 1, 1. Okay, right. Then what is your response? The response is that the answer is 6 is the eigenvalue. 6 is the eigenvalue. So is 6 there? Yeah, 6 is the eigenvalue there. I hope you followed. Now see, come out to the inverse of, yeah, this is easy. 53, for what values of alpha and beta the following simultaneous equations have an infinite number of solutions? Can anyone quickly give the answer? For 53. For 53, what is the, I mean, see, infinite he's saying. See, you need not solve anything here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3. So we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3. Okay. 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3. 1, 2 alpha. 1, 2 alpha. Right. 1, 2 alpha. And the last one. It is 5, 9 beta. 5, 9 beta. So you have 5, 9 beta. Good. See here. He want more than for what alpha and beta it has. What did he ask? Has an infinite number of solutions. Okay. So how do you think? 1, 2. Okay, good. What is your response? Can anyone tell what is the response? Is there any shortcut? These things will become 0. Is there any shortcut here? I think you need to solve. Oh, good. So alpha beta choice is asking for, right? Alpha beta choice, if he is asking for 2, 7 will not work, I think. 2, 7 will not 2, 7 will not work, right? 2, 7 is not right choice. 3, 8. 3, 8 won't work. 8, 3. 8, 3. 8, 3 also will not work. Okay. 8, 3 also will not work. Probably the last choice is correct. 7, 2. 7, 2. 7, 2. Is there any shortcut here or we need to do the problem? Response, please.
So we need to do the problem, sir.
I don't think so. Okay. If you do, then what you are getting? If you do the problem, then what you are getting? No, what I am trying to tell you is that, yeah, right. See, why I'm looking for shortcut is that, see, you have this part and this part. Okay. So, yeah, you need to do, otherwise you cannot get. You are right. We have to do. Okay, that part you will take care. No shortcut there. Then 54 minimum and maximum values of the matrix. Minimum and maximum eigenvalues of the matrix are -2 and 6. What is the other eigenvalue? That is easy, I think. Using trace you can tell. So here 7, 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. So 3 is the other eigenvalue, that is B. Okay, if you have any questions, you can raise. Similarly, 55. A square is equal to I. Y be an n-dimensional vector. Then the linear system of equations Ax is equal to Y has A square is I. Any idea? Any idea? He says A square is equal to I. Okay. A square is I. Okay. A square is I. Now he want to talk about Ax is equal to Y. Okay, Ax is equal to Y. Ax is equal to Y. So what I will do is that from here A square x is equal to, I can write Ay. Okay. But A square is, so Ix is Ay. Ix is x, so x is ay. X is ay. So what is your answer from this one? Can anyone tell? Can anyone tell what is the answer here? What are the alternatives here? No solution, a unique solution, more than one infinity solutions, infinitely many independent solutions. Okay, can anyone tell what will be the answer for 55? I have given a hint here. He has given a square is I. Ax is a very good question here. Ax is equal to y is there. He is talking about the solutions there. So what are variables here and what are the see, when he gives Ax is equal to y, what is variable vector? Variable vector is x. Y is anything. That is what he says. So what can you conclude? Anyone? Anyone? I am talking about this question 55. What is your response? So anyone, can anyone answer this? Can anyone answer this? Unique solution is the answer here from this one. Are you able to understand why it is unique? Are you able to understand why it is unique? So for 55 it is unique. You can see the last 55. 55, the answer is B. Yeah, right. I think it is unique. 55B is unique. Right. It's unique. Right. Any question you can raise. Okay. 56. And that is simple one. 57. Okay. This is also one. The matrix has one eigenvalue equal to 3. The sum of the other two eigenvalues is, that is easy. So you have, okay, 1 is 3 he says. So p plus 1 minus 3, p plus 1 minus 3 is p minus 2. So that is the answer. Then eigenvectors of the matrix are written in the form. What is a plus b? Oh, good. So again, can anyone please participate in this one? 59th question answer. What is answer for 59th question? How you will do that? How you will do that? 59th question. Good. I think no one is responding. One two zero two.
So is it true?
One. Just some of you are not that. I thought you are okay. If you participate, that will be good. That's why. 1A, 1B. You have 1A is one thing, 1B is one thing. Okay, right? Now see what are A and B. He says that A this one yeah, eigenvectors are 1A, 1B, he says. Now how will you respond? See, so if you multiply this with 1a, what you are getting? You are getting 1 plus 2a. Is it right? 1 plus 2a. 1 plus, yeah, right, 2a. And the other one is 2a. Right. This is one vector. And I mean one thing. And then what is the other one? Okay. The other one, 1b. So, yeah, here itself we can write 1202 1b is 1 plus 2b 2b, right? So but on the other hand, the eigenvalues are 1 and 2 because this is a triangular matrix, upper triangle matrix. So they are the eigenvalues. So naturally, what he is asking for a plus b. Okay, what are the, how can I write this? How can we say it is right, a plus b? He's asking for a plus b. How can we get a plus b? So this is nothing but k into 1a. Okay. Similarly, this is some k into 1b. So how to get this? How to get this? So our k choice is either it is 1 or 2. K choice is either 1 or 2. If it is 1, then 1 plus 2a must be equal to, can it be 1? No, there is some problem here. Is the multiplication correct? 1 plus 2a, very good. This is 2a. Okay, nice. So now I have, yeah, right. Some property we have to use. 1 plus 2a, you have here 2a, that is one vector. 1 plus 2b, you have 2b here, right? But this is some k1 into 1a. K2 into 1b. Okay. So our k choice k can be 1, 2. So it is a must that this k1 and k2 must be equal to, okay, k1 and k2 must be equal to, k1 and k2 must, because there are 2 there, k1 and k2. How can I say this? If I take k1 as 1, k1 as 1, 1 I cannot take. I have to take k is equal to 2, that's all, right? So the only choice is k is 2. So, right, good. So we have 1 plus 2a, 1 plus 2a, 1 plus 2a, 1 plus 2a is equal to 2. Good. Is equal to 2. Similarly, 1 plus 2b is equal to also 2. So you have a is equal to, j is equal to 1 by 2, b is equal to 1 by 2. So a plus b is 1. Okay. A plus B is 1. Right. A plus B is 1. C. 59th question C. 59th question C. Where is 59? Yeah, right. 59C. I'm right. Any questions C? I'm writing here, but I don't know you are following. If you have to stop me if you are not following. 59 question. Here, what I see is that 59th question and 55th question are very good questions. They're thought provoking ones. 59 and 53. Okay. Okay. Then this is easy one. For mechanical, they have given. M transpose is M inverse. If someone responds to this question, it is good. 60th question. Can anyone respond? What is the value of X? How you will do that? M transpose is
It's 4
it's
by 5.
orthogonal
Option D.
matrix. It's orthogonal matrix. Am I right? Are you saying same thing?
Yes. Yes, sir.
From that one, you can determine the value of X. Okay. So
Yeah.
simple one is 3 by 5 X, 4 by 5, 3 by 5. See, you have 3 by 5 X dot product, and you have the other one as 4 by 5, 3 by 5. 4 by 5, 3 by 5. Just simply multiply. If you multiply that, what you are getting? 3 by 5 into 4 by 5. 12 by 25 plus X, 3X by 5. That is the dot product. This should be equal to 0. Because orthogonal means that the dot product must be equal to 0. And one more is that yeah, right. So then from this one you can find the value of X. That's all. From this one you can find the value of X. Good. 60 question is also good. 60th question is also good. Yeah. Where is? Oh, where is this? Where is? Yeah, right. Okay. 61, not a serious one. So in this one, 59, 60, and 55. 59, 60, and 55. Okay. 60 and 55. These questions are very good questions. Please see. I think how many of you have followed that? I don't know. If you have a question, you can raise. Okay. Then 61. It is easy. 62 is also easy. Yeah, here this you need to work. I think the largest eigenvalue of the matrix you have to work out. Okay. Then the system. Why it is you need to it is easy here. 62nd question. Can anyone answer? 60. Okay. What is that eigen 161? 161 120 003. Right. So this is your A. It is very easy, in fact. Again, then your characteristic equation. A minus lambda I determinant is 0. So What is this A minus lambda I? 1 minus lambda, 6, 1, 1, 2 minus lambda, 0, 0, 0, 3 minus lambda is 0. So this is 3 minus lambda into 1 minus lambda into 2 minus lambda. Okay, you need not expand also actually. Minus 6 must be equal to 0. So what you need to do is that you have the choices here 1, 4, 2, 3. 1, 4, 2, 3. So if I put 1 here, this becomes 0. But 1 is not the choice. 2. If I put 2, that is also not the choice. So only choice is 3. 3 is the choice because 3 minus lambda is, if you put lambda as 3, then it is satisfied. So the answer is 3. Okay, for this one, the answer is 3. That is D. Fine. This is also a similar question. Easy question. This one I want. Actually, I raised during the second lecture, I think. You need to tell me how to do this one. This I have not put my mind. So please look into that 64th question. Okay. And the remaining things are easy. Yeah, this is easy. Now it's it's up to you. Now you select a problem, I'll try to do it. If you have any issues, you can raise. I think this only question we need to answer is 64. If you have an idea, 64, we'll see that. And I have seen almost all questions. They are simple ones. From our PPT, you will get all the answers. Only question we need to answer is this 64. Okay. And from the PPT I have shared, you can get answers for all these questions. That's all for now. Any questions you can ask me. That's all for now, for today. Okay. So we have solved some problems on linear algebra, question bank, and differential equations. Exactness I have to discuss in the next class, and I'll share the problem sheet also for differential equations. Okay, for now, today it's fine. Any questions you can ask me. If you have any questions, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Do you have any questions? Yeah, right. Okay, I'm not looking at the chat box. Yeah, right. Good. You are responding. If you have any questions, now you can.
Ini